Live. What's up?
Hello.
Three dudes in football talking shit about football. We're gonna get right into it. Did y'all watch any of the Patriots and the Jets?
I
Just
didn't.
enough to know.
Just enough to know that it was shit.
I didn't even tune in. I missed it altogether.
I saw a little bit of it. I didn't really watch much. I didn't barely watch any of it because it's the Patriots and the Jets. So who really gives a fuck? But the Jets. I saw some highlights, if you want to call them that. And the Jets pretty much just refused to win. They have no interest in it whatsoever. It's just like, no, we're good. We're good.
When you get that good at not winning, I mean, you just got to keep the streak alive.
I mean, you think can they really compete with Detroit though? Are they going for that?
They're not. Oh, you talking about the 08 Lions?
Mm-hmm. 0-16, you mean?
I don't know, man. That was a bad team.
Yeah,
it was a really bad team.
It was.
The Jets have a lot of issues, but they do have some. We were talking about off air a second ago. Flacco actually looked pretty decent. I thought Jamison Crowder. I still think he's a decent receiver. They've got some guys that can play, but I was still surprised with a less than stellar New England team, to put it generously, that they were able to get any kind of lead yet sustain it for most of the game.
I didn't see the Patriots really lead until the end when the clock hit 000.
I think that was it.
Yeah,
I think they came back real late. I didn't see it. That's
they
late
did. They came back with I think they had 4 minutes left or something like that. So they still needed 2 scores, and they the Patriots were going for it, going for a field goal, and within the red zone, matter of fact, and they ended up getting a whole fresh set of downs because the Jets had 12 people on the field.
I got a theory about that.
For a field goal.
Yeah, I think the Jets were trying to run the clock. I think the Jets were – I remember seeing that play, and it was kind of like what the Titans did a couple weeks ago. And nobody talked about it this time, but when the Titans did it, they brought 12 men on the field purposely to get them to get a free first down. And then basically they wound up getting a field goal anyway on that drive, but they used an extra 2 or 3 minutes. So it's kind of like a way to game the clock. Like, you want to give them a fresh set of downs so they hold the ball and continue to kind of dick around and waste time off the clock.
But the difference is when the Titans, committed penalties to drain the clock, they usually did it on a 4th and punt. That's right. Usually what they did. Agree. I mean, the Jets, they were inside the red zone on defense. That to me is bullshit. So no, I don't accept that theory. Fuck that theory.
It's a theory. I mean,
I will have none of it. I will have none of that.
No, I mean, coaching at work.
I don't know. When Joe Flacco has a good day like that and you don't win, it's the New York Jets. They just refuse. I don't understand that. What I don't get is, if you're doing this for some draft picks, right? You're doing this for next year. How does the rest of your team have any morale? Do they just flip a switch next year? I mean, I know they're all getting paid, but you can't just. I don't understand the hinging. I mean, about rebuilding, I guess, but how long has the Jets been rebuilding? So
since that, what was his name? The guy that came from the Patriots and went to go coach there.
Eric something.
Eric Mangini.
Mangenius, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Rex Ryan was right after that, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
How can you drag a team down like that, though, for one draft pick that may flop?
And I don't know how much stock I put in it, because I mean, this happens just about every year. There's a team that's just so bad. Miami was a good example of last year, that people start talking shit. Myself included, about how they're just playing for a draft pick at this point. Do you think that really holds any water, though? Because I mean, all players deny that, coaches deny it, but it's kind of hard to deny that.
I don't.
And why wouldn't you at this point in the game?
I don't think that coaches are tanking on purpose, because I mean, they're the ones that get fired when the team sucks. And the general managers, I mean, unless it's the general manager who's got a lot of stock, that can keep his job through a bad year. Not many can for long. I mean, those guys aren't going to lose on purpose because they have no incentive. It's basically the players not playing up to par, really, at this point. And, morale is a big deal. I mean, you're on a losing team that's losing by this much, and you get down a certain number of games right out the gate, 0-4, 0-5. Those guys quit. I mean, they're humans like anybody else. They get down enough, they're like, man, I'm not going to risk everything I've got to try to, pull out 3 games in this lost year. I just want to kind of keep myself healthy and stay in the background.
It sounds like a contract player, or up for a contract player.
Well, that's the type of players that get you a season like this.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. But, now next week for the Jets, I don't see them winning next week. However, they're going up against a team that's only got 2 more wins than them. But I was talking to Miles about this before you came on, Mike, that Chargers record does not reflect, in my opinion, how good they really are.
Mm-mm.
They've only lost by like 2 or 3 points every game, which is very similar to the Giants. Talking about
they're the
New
most
York
tragic kind of losing football team. They lose the closest, most dramatic ways every single week. It is hard to watch because I feel so bad for them.
Yes. Which one, the Chargers or the Giants?
The Chargers. Oh, okay. The Chargers. The Giants are terrible, but the Chargers have actually been ahead of almost every team they played in the fourth quarter.
Yep. And last week they got something called back on the last play, didn't they? Or was like a minute left or something like that?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Oh gosh, and because I'm on my fantasy because I picked up the quarterback, and it said that it was going to be 32-31. Then I was like, oh cool, they finally won. And then I went back to look at it, and it was like
lost on replay.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Feel bad for the guy, man. But anyways, as I was saying, I really do think that the Jets are not going to beat them. They are going out there for one, so they're going to LA. I don't know.
Are they?
Yeah, aren't they?
I've got the Dolphins here in front of me.
Man, damn it. I'm always wrong.
They play next. They're on a bye, I guess, this week. And then the next game is the Chargers.
No shit.
Okay.
So the Jets are on a bye this week?
I guess so. I don't see them playing any game.
Man, that's awesome. They don't get to lose this week.
So this will be the first week that they haven't lost.
It's baby steps, man.
The season started.
Oh my god!
They got their first lead in the fourth quarter this week. Next week, it's not losing. It's little small steps.
Baby steps.
So how long do buys last in the NFL? How far do they go into the season?
I don't know. I think it's until the last month. I think by like week 13, everybody's had their bye.
Yeah.
This year is probably going to be a little exception because things get moved around. Or I would imagine we'll get moved around more before we get there.
Well, they're talking about if, games don't get played because they're talking about how at this point in the game or this point in the season is, there's no room to really reschedule games at this point. They can move the times in the same day, but they can't reschedule the games. So they're talking about going to a 16-team playoffs.
Right.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, March Madness.
Yep. It'll be 8 teams from each conference.
I'm up for that.
I am too.
For that. That'd be great.
I have no issue with that either.
I got a lot of questions about it, like how they're going to shift the format they currently have, because they went from having 6 teams in each conference with the first 2 seeds getting a bye week. Now it's a 7-team, and then only the top seed gets a bye week. But now with 8 teams, I mean, can you really get a bye week, or you just kind of get a home playoff game? Because every year they're really charging there at the end the top teams to try to get that top seed in the bye week. I'm thinking if you take that incentive away, I mean, what's the incentive for them to play at all?
Right. And especially given what's going on with the COVID and everything, does home field advantage even make a fuck at all difference?
Pretty good point.
Because all they're doing, they're literally pumping in crowd noise. They're pumping in booze when they make field goals at some of these stadiums.
Yeah. Well, a lot of that stuff is actually the TV boards doing that. It's not even the sound in the stadium.
Really?
But, yeah, a lot of it's just kind of like practice, 101 in the stadium. And then as they're pumping it in the TV feed, they're adding all that other stuff in there. And that's how they're so sharp on the fake crowd reactions and stuff goes wrong. It kind of makes it seem a little more organic. They don't have that on the stadium.
Because Washington football team, I want to say that they had a pretty loud ovation when Alex Smith came out, but
staged.
CGI.
Well, we did. Well, I mean, they should have, gave him some props because he had a pretty good game.
I love Alex Smith.
I do too. Maybe do you think this is the beginning of some, of his comeback by any chance? Because Kyle Allen, he's out for the season. Now, if Alex Smith, kind of proves himself, could he go somewhere else? I don't know, maybe Dallas.
Washington is going to need to have one hell of an offensive line. I'm not sure what they have there. I haven't seen them play all year.
Well, I know Gibson, he's hurt, or he's moved to doubtful, so they're losing a running back right there, and he hasn't been too bad this season. He's been pretty consistent at least. Nothing to write home to mom and dad about, but still.
Might got a couple of people with wideouts, don't they? That can play.
Yeah, I think it's that McLaurin, I think it's McLaurin. The guy's second year. He's actually really good.
We were talking. Go ahead.
No, so I was going to say Alex Smith could change the complexion of that team. That's really, Kyle Allen's a very mediocre, sometimes quarterback, and Haskins. They were trying to trade him so hard at the deadline. He's not going to play anymore this year. They basically just want to bubble wrap him like they did RG3, so they don't have to pay an injury guarantee. So, I mean, you're looking at Alex Smith, and he's a guy that's come into teams before, and he plays safe. He won't throw it down the field, but he won't turn it over. So you're at least going to be in the game towards the end. And, I mean, maybe that's what they need in that division. I mean, they could go on a run and make it interesting, kind of bump heads with the Eagles and see what happens.
Be fun. It's like the losers division. They have tournaments set up where the winners play the winners and the losers play the losers.
Consolation games. Yeah, that's the NFC East.
You want to know what the record is for the NFC East?
Less than 500.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you. 9 of 24 and 1.
It's pretty bad.
That is terrible. That is terrible, man. Now, the NFC West with San Francisco and all them, they're 20 and 13, but the rest of them are just barely over 500. The NFC North is 17 and 16, and then the South is 18 and 17. But, yeah, dude, the NFC East, 9 and 24 and 1. Wow. Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good. I still say, though, if Alex Smith is going to be a starter, that's a team I could root for because he's a fantastic story.
Yeah.
You have a guy who's the number 1 draft pick who doesn't do well at all his first 3 or 4 years, gets tossed around between a bunch of coaches, finally gets the team somewhere and gets benched in the year that they go to the Super Bowl for Kaepernick, gets picked up by the Chiefs. He's having career years and gets benched for Mahomes, and then goes to Washington and gets his leg broke like freaking Theismann did. I mean, it's really kind of I think it would make a pretty good like football life type movie. He has that Kurt Warner type vibe, except he just hasn't won it all yet.
That's just what I was thinking of Kurt Warner of the feel to it, man. I like the story too. I mean, I've got no hatred to Alex Smith. He's no fun to watch, really. I mean, but
he's game manager 101. I mean, he's that guy.
He can get the W.
Right.
He needs help. I mean, it's not all on his shoulders, but he can get you one.
And that's what it's all about. And, it's not very hard to get a win in that division. I mean, dude, every team in that division is poised to take the division. I mean,
the Cowboys.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Even the Cowboys are in the race to win that division. That's going to watch whoever comes out of that division go like to the NFC Championship. I will laugh my ass off.
Look, man.
Oh my gosh. Because, dude, honestly, wait, real quick. But Gilbert, dude, whatever, Mr. Texas, he wasn't bad.
No, he was a hell of a lot better than DiNucci or whatever the guy was the week before. They wouldn't even let him play quarterback because they knew how bad he was. They're like, just don't throw the ball. We'll run trick plays every down. And they still couldn't win. But look, check this out, man. I mean, I love this type of shit. You get to the end of the year if you have one of these divisions and someone's poised to like go to the playoffs at 6 and 10, like we've had a couple times. People lose their minds. They're like, that's not fair. And my team was 9-7, had to sit home and watch. And I'm like, yeah, that sucks. Win a division. I love that shit. I really love people falling apart over that.
I agree 100%.
But because the biggest stink I remember hearing was, when Seattle went and they had and they ended up putting out the Saints in the first round, dude. They put this, dude, it was crazy. And, that's when everybody lost their shit because everybody's like, well, the Saints just, they deserve to go out further in the playoff. Not if they can't win that first playoff game. Sorry about your luck, dude.
Nope.
Yeah, no. So, going on, all right, injuries. Me and Miles were talking about this before you got on too, Mike. Apparently we had a long conversation. What the fuck were you? But yeah. So the Patriots, 18 on their injury report, 18 players. Detroit, 12. And the list just goes on and on and on, dude. So many teams are just the Raiders. They got what? They got 8 players on theirs, and that's not even including everybody that's on IR because they don't list those on the week-to-week injury reports, apparently. But, dude, so what's your opinion, Mike, on why this is so worse this year? Unless I'm just wrong. Maybe it's not worse this year, but it sure the fuck seems like it.
Yeah, every couple of years, it kind of goes in a wave like this. And a lot of times what happens is there's no off season or there's something afoot, like behind the scenes. I think with COVID, I mean, you get a lot of teams that have Zoom meetings for practice, because they have to shut down the facility. And not all of them do, but the Patriots had some stuff recently, I think. The 49ers, I mean, they've had a ton of injuries, but I think some of that was due to lack of offseason. Guys come in, they get soft tissue injuries, or they're just kind of out of shape, versus football shape. And a couple weeks in, something happens and they pop an ACL. I mean, just a thought. I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV. I don't know exactly what would cause this for every team, but it seems like that's a contributor, or would be.
That's kind of my opinion too. I think the lack of an off season this year, it kind of shows that they're kind of undisciplined as far as working out on their own.
Yes, that's where I come in. I am bothered by it because we all know that practices are nothing. They don't do anything. They're all logistics and strategy. There's no physicality to a practice, right? Very little, if any. So it's strengthening, and I'm sure they do that with people that motivate them, but ultimately it's up to oneself to train appropriately. So I think it's bullshit. I think they're lazy. They've all got gyms in their houses. No excuse for this. That's where I stand.
I'm kind of with you on that. I mean, I am. I mean, granted, most of them are pretty much kids that play.
Mm-hmm.
They're fresh out of college, even just a few years out of college, and they obviously don't have the discipline to, Jameis Winston, didn't he come in like 30 pounds overweight or some shit after the offseason? Yeah.
Well, I will say this too. I think that there's a certain amount of routine that you have to get as a football player. I mean, I haven't played since early in high school, but there's a certain amount of getting hit and being able to fall and not fall awkwardly that you kind of develop in these practices. It's more than just the strength and conditioning. It's more than just your cardio and not getting out of breath. Although, Jadavion Clowney, how you doing out there?
Yeah, no doubt.
I think it's important to know, how to kind of take a hit and not fall to where like your ankle's bent or your elbows kind of sideways or awkward or something, because I think those kind of lend itself to some of the injuries that pop up all over the place. It could be part of it.
I mean, to me, this year has been maybe every year injuries pile up. However, this year it seems like a lot of big name starters are going down that are really changing the outcome of their team's, position in this race to the playoffs.
Yeah, no doubt. It's definitely affecting the way that the schedule and the records are looking for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the Jets are going to do without Sam Darnold.
I didn't know he was even hurt. Is that why I thought he just got benched?
No, that's why Flacco's there.
Yeah. Like I said, I thought he just got benched because, they're having such a stellar year, But yeah, they're shit. That's just my opinion.
Did either of you watch that Clemson Notre Dame?
I did. I watched the rest of it after we got off the last podcast. Holy shit!
What? That was some shit. I tell you what really sucked though is all those touchdowns being looked at for over and over again.
Oh, I know it. I know it.
Like, get your shit together, guys. Either they have a touchdown or they don't have one, and let's find out before we call or make the reverse call or whatever.
Yeah, dude, that was weird because that one where they said no, it's good, and then he was like, "Oh wait, say no, it's my bad."
Yeah. Oh wait.
I mean, did Steve Harvey? Was he the guy they was talking to on the fucking booth or something?
That's college football, man. That's one of the little idiosyncrasies that separate college from NFL. NFL, they streamline that a lot better than they have in years past. College is up to the conferences, so I mean, you don't who the hell knows what's going to happen.
Yeah. Mike, did you see any of that? Did you watch any of that?
I saw just a little bit on the highlights afterwards.
Did you? All right. Well, I'm dude. That quarterback, the freshman that's starting right now, he's played the last 2 games. He's going to be something. Yeah, I can't pronounce. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name. Not even going to go down that road.
Not Trevor Lawrence.
No, or something like that.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, not even going to attempt it, but dude, he's something to watch out for.
Yeah,
that guy. He's going to. Dude, he's huge for one. I mean, he's a massive guy, and he's quarterback. And dude, he's got an arm and he's accurate. He's making some dumbass decisions, which kind of as far as their last series, I don't shit happens, but dude, watch out for him. Yep. And as far as Trevor Lawrence goes, fuck him. Dude, this all this little wishy-washy shit. Well, I'm gonna weigh my options, dude. Shut up. You're not gonna stay in college. What do you mean? Don't put that on him? Yes, yeah, I'm absolutely putting that on him.
You can't. A guy in college that's got cameras in his face and microphones sticking out all the time, trying to catch a soundbite. It's obviously the people in the media trying to hype this up and have something to write about. I mean, he's not trying to keep anybody on the hook. I don't think. I mean, I've read some of his clippings and stuff where he's talking about it. I think he's tired of talking about it. But people make a big deal. Cardell Jones came out.
He's definitely tired. He's definitely tired of talking about it. And I don't blame him. But to sit there and say that, all this started because he was talking about coming back to Clemson. And, there's 2 reasons to go back. For one, this has been a weird year. It just has he's totally missed out on his college experience. I'll give him that. And 2, he'll have to go to the fucking Jets.
Doesn't matter. This is all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. Just a year ago, Joe Burrow was saying, "Oh, I don't want to go to the Bengals," or something along those lines was coming across the TV screen. They're about to get paid millions of dollars. Who cares who they go to? I mean, they don't know what dysfunctional NFL team is. They've never been on one. I mean, sure, they know that they suck, but what are you going to do? I mean, if I was coming out of college and you don't get to pick the team you're going on, I mean, live with it, I guess.
I think he could, though. I think I totally would I would support his decision if he came out and the Jets drafted him number 1 to pull an Eli Manning and say, "I'm not playing for you," or just straight up tell him ahead of time so that they'll trade the pick. I think that he could probably pull that off.
You think so? Does he have any legacy in the NFL like Eli did? I mean, does he have?
No, Eli had a lot of good agents in his corner. His dad is almost like an agent, so he had a lot of people that just told him, "Look, I mean, if you just call their bluff long enough, you'll get out of San Diego or wherever it was."
Eli, yes, but does Trevor have that many ties into the?
I don't know.
Be able to play a game like that, you know what I mean? That's a pretty strong-handed game you're playing. You'd have to have a brother and a father in the NFL, I think.
There's only a couple guys that can do it. So John Elway could do it because John Elway kind of did that, I might play baseball thing. The Colts drafted him number 1, and then they got forced to trade to Denver. They didn't get near the return because they were trying to call his bluff and realized, okay, he's really not going to play. Other teams have done it too. But, I mean, on the short list of people who've done it, Jim Kelly, Bo Jackson, Eli Manning, John Elway, and these guys are, like legends. Bo Jackson's not Hall of Fame, but would have been if he played. And if Trevor Lawrence is Andrew Luck, I guess, probably could be in that conversation, except he did go number 1 to the Colts and they kept him. But, I mean, if you think of Trevor Lawrence as an Andrew Luck type can't miss, I think he could pull it off. But I don't think the Jets would be dumb enough to do that. I mean, if they could look any worse, it's about the only thing that make them look worse than they do now.
I don't know. I guess I haven't watched a lot of him play, but I just feel like just last year, you could insert everything we just said, but say Joe Burrow. I mean, he was going to be the number one pick, and he was playing like a NFL quarterback already. Like this Trevor Lawrence, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm good enough to tell if he's going to be a boom or a bust in the NFL.
Right.
He looked great in college.
I agree. No, that's true. And there was some conversation last year about Burrow if he would actually, play for the Bengals. I don't know if you guys remember Carson Palmer coming out and saying he should not play for them.
Yeah.
They're starting this big to do, but yeah. I mean, we'll see. And there's a lot of lying that goes on, between now and next year's draft.
My only issue is if he stays. I mean, what's his injury right now? What's wrong with him?
COVID.
No.
Yes.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yes, he tested positive, and he's had to be out. He's had to.
I thought he had an injury too. I didn't know.
I don't think so.
No, dude, he was on the field. There's no way he would have been on the sidelines if he was on the COVID list.
Cleared, I think, and then decided not to play or something. I don't know.
You checking on that?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Because I mean, he was on the fucking sidelines. He was in the huddles. When they're on the sideline talking.
Yes.
So I mean, that would be my thing. If he come back, for another year of college, if he gets hurt, dude, that's it over.
So here's a question: while we're kind of in limbo, if not the Jets, who would you see him going to? Who would trade up to get him?
Honestly, I think the Patriots would move hell and high water to get him. I think Bill Belichick would give everything he could to get him.
There's no injury report on him, man. It just says that he did have the coronas, and he missed Boston College, but he also missed that Notre Dame game. So I don't know.
That's weird.
What the story is there?
Yeah, because he wasn't even in pads, so it wasn't like he was about could have went in or anything like that.
No, I don't know what the story is with that.
That's odd. We might have to revisit that. So, what y'all think about the Titans game? Their defense finally showed up, or did Chicago suck that bad?
I don't know, man. I don't see that banner on the bottom this week, so I think I know which way you're leaning.
Yeah. Well, I was leaning towards their defense finally showing up until I was unfortunately started listening to some talk radio today on the local guys here, and one of the guys brought up a good point. Bears just sucked.
Nick Foles threw the ball 52 times.
What?
Yeah. So,
wow.
The Titans defense sucks. To let them score at all.
But they only let them score in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's that, yeah. But to get even that, to get within a score, because they're only 24-17, so it wasn't like they were blown out and then they let them come back in the fourth quarter and score a couple of touchdowns. It made the game close. So I don't know, man.
I will say that they, the last stat I heard, they were Chicago was 0-8 for third down conversions, and then when I was listening to it, they didn't get that one either. So they definitely did a major turnaround on that.
Yes.
Because the week before that, dude, no, it didn't matter.
All the weeks before that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that the Titans definitely needed a game that could give them a little confidence on defense because they haven't had one really to this point. So if for no other reason than to serve that purpose, this is a good game. But no, I mean, Chicago's offense, I put them right up there with the Giants this year. In fact, if Chicago played the Giants, that might be the only scoreless game this entire year. It would end in a 0-0 tie because I don't have faith that either one of them can find paint anywhere. And but I mean, be that as it may, I mean, they played them and they got some numbers. I mean, they finally got to the quarterback a couple of times, and to make a quarterback throw 52 times, you're doing something right. So the third down, I agree, is like the biggest game changer stat for them to do that. Hopefully they can keep it going against the Colts. I think if we're going to bounce and look ahead to the Colts a little bit here, I think that they match up favorably with them. And I think that this is not going to be a close game against Indianapolis. I don't think Indianapolis is going to really be able to hold it with Tennessee. It really depends on like the first couple quarters now the Titans start. But hopefully they can take some of that confidence from last week and put it through.
Yeah, Trevor Lawrence just didn't play because of COVID. That was it.
That's a good reason, though.
Well,
but I mean, it was just weird that he was, on the field.
Yeah, not quarantine.
Yeah, I mean, it's 10 days after you test positive, so I guess it was just like maybe Friday was the 10th day or something like that.
He's like the guy from the Dodgers.
To play in two top five teams in the NCAA playing at nighttime is really bizarre that he didn't choose to play.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it didn't say they had a choice from what I just read.
Well, yeah, I guess it does. He doesn't have a choice. But, the way that somebody making that choice for him to play, I guess is what I'm saying. that didn't happen because they lost.
You know what? I don't know. That's kind of weird because
that's all. I don't know who made that decision, but it wasn't his coach or him.
I'm just saying he shouldn't have been on. Yeah, he shouldn't have been on the field because according to this, he had mild symptoms when he tested positive, right? So that was right before the Boston College game, and then your 10-day isolation period doesn't start until after you stop showing symptoms.
I don't know. The president got over it in like a weekend. So.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, fuck what?
Hot mic.
Oh yeah. So, Mike, what about your running back this week? Holy shit!
I'm just gonna bench my quarterback. I don't even need him.
Apparently not, dude.
Dalvin Cook's track meet. He's turned into freaking second coming of Barry Sanders. He's amazing.
Over 200 yards he got, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. 200 yards on 22 carries and 2 touchdowns. Very nice day. I'm sure he had some receptions too.
I wouldn't doubt it. What about it there, Mike?
For a lot of flaws.
He's kicking ass, man. So they're the NFL, obviously he's, did you know that Christian McCaffrey is still in the top 10, ranked number 10th running back in the league right now. And he's only played like 3 games.
Yes. 3. I would believe that because he's so much of their offense. I mean, what does he get, like 25 opportunities, whether it's receiving or carrying the ball?
Dude, he got 151 yards in that first game back, and now he's not even playing this week because he messed up his shoulder.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Dalvin Cook, for those who care, is in the last 2 weeks, he got me 59.2 fantasy points this past week and 69.6 the week before.
Oh, good for you.
That's stupid. That's the only reason I won. I mean, since we're sitting here picking it apart, that's the only reason I won.
I'm okay with it. I've lost my way. I don't know. I'm in a boat without a paddle here as far as fantasy football goes.
Well, dude, it's so weird this year. It really is. There's no clear cut people to pick from because everyone is hurt. Everyone keeps getting hurt, man.
Just look at the manager comparison, and you guys can see that I have won before.
Oh, I know. I've seen. Whatever. We all know that. Yeah. So
not my first year, I promise.
No, obviously not. It's my nephew's first year, which Mike took advantage of that last week when he traded for Antonio Brown and getting Will Fuller.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Look, man, Antonio Brown actually got some snaps last week. I mean, that
has
this shit the bed.
Yeah, but and then he also picked up Des Bryant. I called him when I saw that. I was like, all right, now, dude, stop. Stop whatever you're doing. I don't know, for one, stop picking your favorite players or, whatever. He said, what? Des Bryant's really good. I was like, dude, he hasn't played in since 2017. And no, just no.
Don't stop his dream. I mean, if these are the players he wants, I mean, I've had my wife in a fantasy football league before, and she's tried to pick multiple kickers, and explained to me that like you can't win without good kickers. I'm like, yes, but 3 on your roster is too many. Look, the more I try to sit there and explain and say, no, this is not the way to go. She turned around, she beat me when we played each other head to head. So nobody knows anything.
Listen, in traditional scoring, kickers are extremely important. They get more points than wide receivers and sometimes running backs.
Yeah, we don't play in the league like that, so fuck that.
No, but it is a possibility. Because my first year back in 2006, I actually drafted a kicker, like in the 5th or 6th round or something, and I lived at that for a while. Realize you don't have to do such things, but
there's one in every draft. Somebody drafts a defense high and the kicker high.
Oh yeah, but I mean, it's nonsense. But then I realized, like in traditional scorekeeping, which I hadn't played before, it's pretty bad. Like you really need a good kicker. It'll get you 12, 14 points on a good day.
That makes sense. Makes sense. I mean, they really are important to the game. I mean, you just ignore the fact that y'all can't see me. I'm trying to fix that, but
okay,
it's not really that important.
You look great.
Yay.
No, I've always, when I've tried to get kickers, I try not to draft them, but then, I usually go through about 2 or 3 in a year, and I find out the best ones are on the teams that have a terrible defense or an offense that's just good enough to never really make it all the way. And I thought I picked the kicker. I think it's Elliott, the kicker for the Eagles this year. I actually drafted him. I don't know why. And I figured, okay, well, Wentz is going to break down. They're going to put a backup in there, and they're going to just get like to the 30-yard line every drive. He'll be nailing like 50-yard field goals, and he wind up not doing anything. Like they've been really bad in spots. Wind up dumping him. I don't even know who I have now, but at least I'm not getting zeros every week.
Yeah, it's sometimes I feel like superstition with kickers. Like I'll just go and then maybe I'll get one that hits good for me, and I'll keep him for a few weeks and bounce around a little bit. I'm the same way with kick. I don't know. It's an important role, but like it's not. It's not a 5th, 6th, 7th round draft pick role. It's way later down the line, and I don't. But they've saved the day, man. In our kind of scoring in the PPR, where you get these bonuses for longer yardage thing. I mean, I've had a kicker come through and get like 25, 26, 27 points before. I mean, that's insane for a kicker, but it's done it, and it's been fantabulous.
They'll win the game.
Yes.
Kickers and tight ends are the 2 positions that typically don't put up a whole lot of numbers, and if you get a week where one of them does, in tandem with everybody else, you're going to win almost every time.
It's a great feeling.
You there?
Yes.
Man, my stuff is messing up. Yeah, I'm here, but dude, this does this all the time. Unless I restart the computer, I'm not going to be coming back on. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so I ain't worried about it. Anyway, watching me anyway. So. I guess it's Titans against the Colts tomorrow night. There you go. Now we match.
I would do that. Turn off mine.
There you go.
Nice. All right, guys.
Perfect.
The blackout.
This is how we need to do it from now on.
Yeah, I think so.
We look amazing.
It's like 2 eyes and a nose.
Man. What have we been waiting on?
Oh gosh, we've been doing it wrong this whole time.
This is our special effects budget for the show.
The brownout. So, Colts here in Nashville tomorrow night. This should be a good game.
No, I think so.
No?
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I mean,
well, Mike doesn't agree.
Oh,
yeah, it's there. I think the Titans are going to take this one pretty handily. I got a really good feeling about it.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think the game's going to have to fall on Rivers, and I think Rivers is going to do Phillip Rivers things, and it compounds when he starts turning over the ball. Titans are going to start to. I feel like the Titans are going to start to score enough points, even on that defense, that they'll get up like a couple touchdowns, and Rivers is going to have to try to win the game, and they're going to show their colors. I think that's their main flaw right now.
That makes a lot of sense.
I mean, they had the number 3 defense in the league right now. The Colts do.
Yeah, but they just lost to Baltimore by 2 touchdowns. So I mean,
Baltimore has a number 1 defense. So,
well, Really?
I was just looking at it.
Wow.
Yeah, Baltimore's number one. Baltimore's number one. The Rams are number two. And yeah, so
I don't know, man. I mean,
I thought Pittsburgh was up there. I
agree with the offensive part of that equation, but I don't know if the Titans are just going to run up the score on them. I feel like their defense might be able to.
I will say Desmond King definitely made an impact, this past week.
Yes,
that's for sure. So
yeah, didn't he get a really good pickup?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out. I mean, how long does he have left in his career at this tier? 3 more years?
Desmond King, I think is he not at the end of his first contract? I feel like he is.
Maybe.
So he's in year 4, and he's gonna be a free agent after this season. So I think he's got. If the Titans choose to re-sign him, they could probably get him for another 3 or 4 more years.
Yeah,
decent years.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I agree. So hopefully that happens.
Well, they need it. They've got to invest. They had that one guy they drafted. I can't think of his name right now. Like second round this year, cornerback, and I think he got injured. He hasn't played a whole lot. So they need secondary help. They need more secondary help than they do pass rush. So if King can really shore that up, there's definitely a place for him, and that would be a good building block. And then draft another guy early next year, because I don't think Malcolm Butler is going to stay at whatever level he's at right now for very long. I mean, he shows up sometimes, but I've seen him get burnt quite a bit since he's been in Tennessee.
Yeah. Well, I believe he's doing a lot better this year than he was last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year he started out really bad. It was noticeable.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
That's tomorrow night, huh?
That is tomorrow night. Yep.
Sweet. Yeah. I look forward to that.
Yeah, Same. Everybody will get to watch that one.
Yes.
I know.
Wow. Crazy. And see, even if you don't have the NFL Network here, you still get it on local channels here.
Yeah, Fox is showing it on Thursday night.
Oh, are they?
Amazon carries it too. I think 8 games a year. You can stream it through Amazon if you have like Amazon Prime.
That is great.
Yeah. Yes. Good thing to know.
I did not get paid to say that. I should have.
You should.
Well, rock and roll, guys. Y'all want to do it again next week?
Sounds good.
All right,
good idea.
Cool.
See y'all.
See you later, man.
See ya.
I can't turn mine on.